Today on the Lucie Colors of Heart show.
Basically, I started a startup. I quit my job because I really wanted to digitize the relocation process to Austria. That's where COVID came. Then I realized, oh wait, you know what? This is business coaching. But I had no business experience. I feel like I had to go through all of these experiences to now be able to do what I do now. For me, my businesses are more like projects. That's right now I have 3 businesses, which is completely ridiculous. The business can be also done in a different way and not just in this one way where people tell you you have to pick a niche and you just have to go with it and just do it and become an expert at it and just do it for a long time. And it's again like with what we discussed with the moving abroad thing. I think with business is kind of the same. I was really down because of it. I thought, you know what, I really failed. Business can only grow to a level to which you grow yourself as a person. I still think everyone should have a side hustle because you can't rely on your job anymore financially. We're not being taught how to manage our finances, how to become financially independent.
Okay, let's talk business now. So what is your business about?
So yeah, that's a very complex question because I started out, basically I started a startup. So I quit my job because I really wanted to digitize the relocation process to Austria because I was working in the field and I've seen how it can be improved. And I was like, okay, I would like to create a software and an app that's gonna digitize the process. And so I did. So I quit my job and then I started working on this project, and it was very challenging because basically the moment I finally found the right person to also be my co-founder and start a company with, basically the moment we launched the technology, the software, that's where COVID came. And basically, as you can imagine, the relocation industry, it was like the same as for travel, right? So basically, I've been working really, really hard on this, and then suddenly all of the potential clients, investors are suddenly telling you, they're not going to invest because it's too risky now, or they're not gonna, go buy it because they don't need it right now, right? Because they're not going to be focusing on this. So that was really hard for me because I felt like this baby that I created is suddenly, it's not working. It's like, what do you do, right? And also the financial aspect of it, because we invested quite a lot of money into it. And then, because we just knew it's going to work, because we had clients lining up wanting to buy it, and so we knew it's going to work. But then there is a situation that you can't control at all, you can't predict it all. And suddenly you're in a position where like, what the hell am I going to do now, So thank God, after like a half a year, we sold it. We sold it to the Austrian government, who wanted to also bring something new, basically and especially attract new talent to come to Austria, because for instance, Austria, even though now it might not seem like it, but they're always looking for an IT people, right? Who are really, really needed, right? So that was one of the pain points, and also one of the points that the government had on the agenda, to attract more international talent that can fill in these positions. And of course, for them, this is also is great to offer something, and they are offering it for free. So this app, we've been also working on it because we've been adjusting it for them. So they took the main parts, but then they will also help them to adjust it and to recreate it. And it's going to be launched basically next year. And it's going to be completely for free. So whoever wants to come to Austria basically has the whole app, the whole information, everything that they need to relocate, and also the support to really get help with all sorts of different things that you might think of, to come to Austria.
That's awesome.
So that's been really cool, and I was really, really happy about it as well, because my main mission with this project was to say that everyone who needs the help and the information is gonna get it, and so basically I fulfilled my mission. And it was so weird, because then I suddenly fulfilled the mission in a quite short amount of time. And then I was again like, okay, and now what? It was like, you work on this and you're expecting it to be working with this thing like for a long time. And then suddenly somebody just buys it, and then they give it for free. So we're like, okay, well, so what do I do now? So I started to, like experiment with things and really be asking myself, well, what do I want to do? What do I want to do next? And that's when I created basically a course for YouTube for entrepreneurs, because YouTube has been one of the tools that has been immensely helpful for me also before I even started my business, because that's where I actually, I believe that was my first step towards starting my own business, because that's basically, I decided I wanted to share these experiences of living abroad, like we are talking about it today, right? So I also started doing interviews with different people about their experiences in Austria. I started, myself talking about like different things, whether that was immigration or housing or the culture differences in Austria. I myself started to talk about this and create videos around this. And I realized I enjoy it. Like I really love it. It's like a really cool thing for me to really express myself creatively. And then later on, when I decided to take it more strategically, actually use it for my business, that's where I started to learn also more about, the optimization, how I can be found, and how I can really use it as a marketing tool for my business. And I got really passionate about it. And then, when I asked myself, well, what is one thing that I could teach now people, like what is one thing that really changed my life and I can now teach it to others? It was YouTube. I was like, okay, I really am going to now make a course about YouTube. It seems super weird. But then I did it. And the first time I launched it, it was a complete fiasco because nobody bought it. And so I was like, okay. And the second time around, I could fill it with 11 ladies, which was really exciting for me. And since then, I've been coaching people one-on-one, also helping them with their marketing and business strategies. So I turned more into and I realized it wasn't about YouTube anymore, into one-on-one coaching people, and then started to ask me all sorts of things, about how to, like lead their businesses more efficiently, how to, put together a marketing strategy for their business, how to increase their income and have more clients, these type of things. And then I realized, oh, you know what, this is business coaching. So it was so funny because I remember I had this thought once and I said, I think I would love to be a business coach at some point, but I had no business experience, And now it's so funny for me because I feel like I had to go through all of these experiences to now be able to do what I do now. And right now I just started a completely new project, which is called The School, because so far I've been doing everything in English. Even the course was in English. The app, of course, was English. Everything was in English. And then I realized that I really also missed just a connection to Slovakia, and suddenly had the need to go back to my roots and kind of give back, if that makes sense. It's very, I would never thought that this moment would come, but really after 10 years, as I told you, the 10 years living abroad, like I'm fully focusing on the Slovak market now, which is like since just like 2 weeks, I think, or 3 weeks. So it's really fresh, but it's really like I had this urge just to like leave everything behind and just focus on just one thing and just do it in Slovak and just not do it in English anymore, which is super weird and super scary for me. But yeah, I mean, I started to create content on Instagram, and now I'm planning a podcast and also a YouTube show, which I already filmed the first 2 episodes, and now
Awesome.
I'm getting help with all of the cutting and all of the, the graphics and stuff. So I'm really excited for it. And also for next year, I'm planning in a online course for entrepreneurs. So I'm really, really looking forward to this. And again, like it's scary for me, but at the same time, it just flows and I really enjoy doing it. So it's been, like honestly, I've been working on so many different things, and somehow I feel like I don't know if there ever be a point where I'm gonna be consistent with just one thing, because I've been always like so multi-passionate and I just love doing, for me, my businesses are more like projects. That's right now I have 3 businesses, which is completely ridiculous, but it's like I see them more like projects, for me, like if I work with someone, it's like it's more like a project for me. It's I thought that I wanted to have like one thing and just do it for years, but I really enjoy more working on a project basis and just be like, you know what, I really focus 100% on this one thing for now, but in 6 months, that might be something else. And also it's like And it's been working out, it's not like it doesn't work. It's just like you have to wrap your mind around the fact that the business can be also done in a different way, and not just in this one way where people tell you you have to pick a niche and you just have to go with it and just do it and become an expert at it and just do it for a long time. Quite the opposite. For instance, for my startup, we would never have been successful if I would have just focused on one thing, because I never had any technical experience. But I was so passionate about this project that I could merge several different areas that haven't been merged before and create something new, and if I would have just focused on one thing, I would be never able to create something like this. So I'm really excited about like somehow this year, this newfound peace that I can just, feel free to do what I feel like, I have the energy for right now, and just know that the universe is going to support me, and it's going to also bring in the money and everything. It's just I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in the next years. And it's again like with what we discussed with the moving abroad thing. I think with business is kind of the same thing, because you can always choose to do something different or go back to your job if you feel like it, just try it and see if it's for you. If not, you can always change your mind, and you can even change your business. You don't have to do the same thing that you originally decided to do, so yeah. I talked a lot about this.
That's awesome. I learned a lot in the last couple of minutes. It was wow. I would like to ask you talk about the project you made the first, and you said nobody bought it. What was your biggest lesson, biggest learning? Why do you think it was fiasco?
Well, you know what? I think like when you're launching a new product, there's so many different skills that go into that you can't possibly know all of them in this shorter period of time. I really think that if somebody manages to launch their product the first time and somebody buys it, it's a miracle. It's literally like, good job. Like if somebody bought it after you launched it, really good job, really be proud of yourself. Because like, again, like launching a course, you have to have a campaign in place. You have to create content for your social media. You maybe need to start and have like Facebook ads or something. You need to have enough people, enough eyeballs on your product, and then be able to convert them into paying customers. You have to have the technology in place that is supporting your online course. You have to have maybe certain automations in place that that you need in order for people to buy online, and these type of things. There are so many different things that come together, and if you're doing it for the first time, again, I think it's almost impossible to do everything right. And there was, I think the biggest learning was for me because I was really down because of it. I thought, what, I really failed because now nobody bought it. And then I learned that it's just, I did literally just, if I would have switched something in my launch in the first couple of days, because I launched it, and I did the same day that I launched it, nobody bought it. And you know what I did? For the next month, I didn't show up because I felt like I was so embarrassed, And so I didn't show up on social media because I did show up, but I didn't mention the course anymore because I was so embarrassed that nobody bought it, that I was like, what, this is the end of the world. And nobody bought it because nobody was interested in it. And then I learned, for instance, from the strategy perspective, we're supposed to show up at least for 7 days and sell it for 7 days, because people are not going to buy it the first day. They're going to buy it the second day. They're going to buy it throughout the 7 days. They're going to buy the last day where you, for instance, say, what, the offer's closing, or the price is going to be increasing, or whatever, It's like you have to show up consistently. And also, even if you don't have like a launch, you just have to give people the chance to get to know the product, get used to the idea of the product, to maybe even save up for the product, because they might not have the money right now, and it's just like about not giving up immediately, right? And just know that, if you keep going, then people will know, people will know next time that you launch, that maybe some people that said, what, I'm not sure, or what, I don't have money for it now, they're going to buy the next time. And if you wouldn't launch it the next time, if you wouldn't talk about your offer anymore, then people wouldn't buy it. You basically, just gave up too early. So that was my biggest lesson from that.
Yeah, that's good. That's a valuable lesson.
So definitely.
You said next project you had 11 women sign up?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So what you made differently that time?
Well, I think I was just tweaking, like I mentioned, I was just tweaking like things like this, for instance, that I really, it was one thing, as I mentioned, was that I was showing up every day. The second thing was that I was building relationships. So it wasn't just like I expected people, to follow me on Instagram and then just buy from me. I was asking people, I was, I was messaging people, I was having a conversation with people in the DMs. I was, like inviting them to my free challenge, and, also following up with them, how do you like the challenge? And also when I've then like finally pitched the offer and say, hey, this is the product, this is the course that you can now buy. I sent them a voice message saying, hey, you know what? I really enjoyed that you joined my free challenge. I would love for you to join the course as well. Do you have any questions? Can I somehow help you to make the right decision for yourself? Right? So it wasn't just me, literally presenting, then hitting like stop, and then sitting back and like being like, okay, where are the sales?
Got it.
That's what I did the first time. I was just like went offline and I was looking and no sales, and I didn't do anything. I didn't follow up. I didn't build a relationship with any of those people who actually joined me for the free challenge. So I think if you only make like, sometimes it's really the simplest things that you think, are not going to change everything, and they change everything. It's just like you didn't apply them, right? So like the simplest strategies can really help you to make like huge difference.
If you enjoyed this episode, give it a like, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you will be notified about the future episodes. And most important thing, don't forget to share with your friends, and always remember, the best way to travel abroad is to live with the locals.
Yeah, definitely. And I think like a lot of women and also some men are scared to start business because they think they need a really big budget at the beginning. What are your thoughts about this?
Well, I think that really depends on what kind of business you're creating. So of course, if you would be creating a startup, you do need the money, right? Because you can't just create a technology. If you're not a programmer, if you can't develop stuff, then of course you can't you can't do it yourself, so you have to pay someone to do it for you, like in our case. But if you're, for instance, you know what, there's so many cool things nowadays that you can use. For instance, if you wanna create a product, like literally if you want to create like your own set of, I don't know, selling like bags with like a funny graphics on it, or whatever, and you just literally don't have to even create the graphic, you can literally just buy it somewhere. There are shops right now that are going to print it on demand, so if somebody orders, they're going to print it on demand and even ship it to the person. It's like crazy things like that, but you don't need any capital whatsoever. Like, how easy can it even get? I was so fascinated when I saw it, like, oh my God, like everyone can start a business if you want to, because like really the costs of entry are so low. And and even if you are like, so that's the product example, right? Or even if you are a coach, right? Like all you need is an Instagram account and start creating content for free so that people get to know you. You give them value, they get to know you, they see you as an expert, and then you have to sell them in DMs. That doesn't cost anything. You don't even need a website for that. You just need an Instagram account to sell there. So I really think that if you want to start out, you don't have the money, you don't need it. You just don't need it. And by the way, before you start selling, you don't even need an accountant. You don't even need to have a company. Like only the moment you actually start selling, that's where you have to put all of that together, right? And that might be a little bit of an investment, but it's still like, again, like the entry level is so low. Like the money that you actually need for starting a business or a project is so low. Anyone can do it today.
Yeah, I'm so grateful we are living in 21st century, because like there are so many options.
Exactly.
And I think, for example, like maybe now it will sound a little stupid, but like people of our age, like I was born in 90s, so like people born in 90s and before that, they having little handicap, I think, from my perspective, because we were growing up in the time without these insane technologies. So I think our mind was set up a little limited, like and we are in the limiting beliefs now. That's like what
Oh,
came
yes.
from our childhood. Like we were raised in different time without technology. Like when I was growing up till 15, 16, we didn't have internet at home. So
Yes.
like we were preparing for the occupation in totally different fields. Nobody could imagine what opportunities we will have in these days. So
Yeah.
that's still what I'm struggling right now, and I'm reading a lot of books about personal development and trying to rewrite
That's
everything.
awesome. Yes, that's very cool. And I think that's such an important thing to do when you have, when you decide to start your own business, because the things that actually hold you back is, is of course the know-how that you might not yet have, but that's always learnable. You can learn everything online, that's not a handicap, or that's not a limitation. The limitations are just here, right? So it's about, if you think you can't earn a certain amount of money, you won't be able to earn it because you just don't believe it, right? Or if you think, you can't be a successful entrepreneur because you're not pretty enough or intelligent enough, or you are not like smart with technology enough, or whatever it is, whatever you are going to believe is gonna show up for you. So I think the personal development part of, you starting a business is enormously important, because I think the business can only grow to a level to which you grow yourself as a person.
Definitely.
That's pretty much it.
Are you enjoying learning about personal development? Do you have
I
some
love it.
favorite authors or books?
Oh my God. I mean, honestly, I'm such a weird person, because like, if you ask me, no, I'm a weirdo, really. No, because like, I started with I think I was 19 or something like this. And back then it was like the blogs started to come out. And it started to be popular. And back then I was reading, I was reading so many self-development books. I was back then still living in Slovakia. And whether I went to school, to the university, or I went to my job, like I had like a part-time job back then, I was always, you could always see me with a book. So I was always reading like self-development books. I was literally consuming crazy amounts of them. And then I was just like, what, it would be fun to like kind of summarize these things and those points into like blog posts, right? And share it. And it actually got quite popular. Like I really got like viewers, and it was working really well. But then I moved to Germany, and I had to focus on my studies and on like adjusting to a completely new culture. So I stopped writing the blog, right? But I had so much fun, and basically I never stopped, like since then I never stopped learning, and just like, if you just know like how many courses I bought just like these last couple of years, it's like enormous amount of courses. It's just like literally some women have an obsession with bags or shoes. I have an obsession with online courses, like I'm constantly buying online courses. That's why also when I'm creating the project with the school, because like literally I asked my boyfriend, hey, what do you think I'm obsessed with? And he said online courses. And I'm like, oh yes, that's a good point. So now we are creating an online platform with courses, with the focus of self-development, right? So of course I'm talking right now, if you see the Instagram account, you see me talking a lot about entrepreneurship, because that's the topic that like is like my heart, like what I'm passionate about, right? But like I already talked with my nutrition coach, who we want to create she wants to create a course for the platform, right, where you can learn also as an entrepreneur how to take care of yourself, how to eat in a way that you have more energy as an entrepreneur, and all these type of things, so it's not going to be only about entrepreneurship, but I think it will be more like the topics that are relevant for someone who really want to grow themselves and just don't want to become the best version of themselves, and just have like the know-how accessible, because like I always assumed everyone can speak perfect English, and people are not like kind of limited by not like by the language, but I realized people are the best in the way that they want to learn, right? And I think a lot of people in, for instance, Slovakia and Czech Republic, they want to learn in their native language, right? So that was like a big step for me, because I couldn't just imagine, just like, oh, there are so many courses, like people can learn stuff, you just learn in English, but they don't want to. And like I was just like if that's the limitation, you know, then let's just do it in Slovak, you know, like there's a big enough market to do that. So I'm really, really excited to see how that's gonna evolve, you know, and I honestly don't know if it's gonna work the way how I imagined, but I'm totally open for it. I'm really excited about it. And I just think the best way that you can do for yourself in the next years is to just be working on yourself, because even if you are in your job, I still think everyone should have a side hustle, because you can't rely on your job anymore financially, for instance. Also, we are not being taught how to manage our finances, how to become financially independent. We are not like learning any skills that are really relevant for life in that matter, right? And this is what I want to change with the new project. I really want to be like an option for people who want to educate themselves, continuously educate themselves, and maybe at some point even manage to bring these ideas into the school system and have them being taught at schools from a younger age, and not like starting to deal with limiting beliefs when you have already so many of them that it's really a lot of work. What if we didn't have these limiting beliefs, because we would be being taught something else in schools when we are young, right? So that's kind of my vision, and I'm really excited how that's gonna go.
That's awesome vision. I totally love it, because I have very close to this field. I studied pedagogy. I was actually working as a high school teacher for a short period of time. Yeah, so I studied 3 years to become a teacher, and after that I started to work as a teacher, and my eyes totally opened, like how bad school system still is. Like it didn't upgrade. Like our age upgrades so much with the internet and opportunities, but we are still teaching the kids same stuff we were teaching them like 100 years.
Exactly.
It should evolve.
Exactly. That's really sad, because we are really teaching the kids basically the same thing that we've been teaching them 100 years ago, and it's just like not relevant anymore. I'm not saying like completely like, you know, like throw out everything or like, but it's just about adjusting it, you know. And also people getting used to the fact that they have to continuously learn, because the technology is evolving so fast. You have to keep up with it. You can't just say, you know what, now I'm finished studying, so I'm done, you know, and I don't have to study for the rest of my. No, you have to keep learning, you know, and you have to learn how to learn, you know. It's just like you have to learn, because, you know, nobody is waiting for you to, or, you know, like it's just, so that's the new age. It's the age that we live in. We have to adjust to that, right?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of addicted to learning. I think it's kind of my handicap. Because
no, it's not.
Because let me explain. At some point, I think I still have so much to learn that I don't want to start some project.
Oh yes, no, I get that.
Because like there is still so much to learn, so like I need to consume more books, more courses, and then I can start. So it's kind of procrastination. It's not really good.
Procrasto-learning. This term has been invented, I think, by Dennis Duffel Thomas. She calls it Procrasto-learning. Then when you're learning just to procrastinate to start the project and start earning money with it. Yeah, I totally get it. And, you know, I think the important thing is when you learn, you just apply it as well, you know, so you're not like just learning it for the sake of learning. And you can, you know, certain things, if you're interested in certain things, then it's totally fine. But if you have a business course, try to apply it, right? If you're going through a business course, try to apply the stuff into your actual project, and don't just be like, oh, you know, you're going to listen to it and I'm going to think about it. Maybe I'm going to do it, you know, like really have to be committed to like implementing it. But if you're learning things that are just interesting for you, right? You know, like I really just like listening to some courses just for the sake of learning something new. I don't necessarily have to immediately apply it into my life. It's more about like me, you know, increasing my horizons. You don't have to apply everything into your life, you know, but like the important things that are really like matter to you, right? Then just, you know, just take it step by step and try to implement as much as you can as you go on, you know, and not to like procrastinate in that case.
Yeah, so that was my issue a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of women have this. A lot of women have this.
Yeah, because that was also like I was talking about starting my own business such a long time, but actually this year I started to taking my first steps. So I'm still developing, but I already started taking steps. But like I think I started talking about my business in 2016, 17, something like that. And I was just talking and like learning things, like I said, consuming books, courses, but I was still like, there's so much to learn. Like I need bookkeeping, accountant, all these things I actually learned. They are not so important at the beginning. You just need to take action. So
that's true. That's very true.
right.
Awesome.
So your main focus right now is Slovakia market?
Yes.
So your new project you are devoted.
Yes, 100%.
Awesome. And I wanted to ask you, are you more like solopreneur or do you collaborate with some people?
Well, to be honest, I always had projects where I worked with someone, or most of the time I had projects that I worked with someone. But again, like I realized for myself, the best thing for me is to just see it as projects, because since, I change, like kind of my vision changes and evolves, and also like my priority shifts. It's literally for me the easiest is just like to have a company and then work with people like on a kind of like an external basis, right? And I think there are so many great options today, right? To like if you look at affiliate marketing, for instance, right? Or you can like create a course together and again agree on like a commission. That's what I want to do next year, right? For instance, with there is like a basis how you split these things, but it's just like I think I love working with other people, but for me, it's really important to be still true to my vision and do the things that I want to do, because I believe that they are given to me for some reason, because I'm supposed to do something with them. And sometimes I found myself, when working with other people in like a very close collaboration was when then I realized that, I couldn't kind of fully embrace this vision. I couldn't fully embrace things or put out things out there that I really wanted to talk about, right? Because that's somehow limiting. So I think also, throughout this experience, I learned a lot about how I actually want to work and how I want to run my business. And I think it's completely different for everyone, So it was very interesting for me to also see like how this evolved.
So what's your personal preferences about it?
What do you mean?
Like you're rather working alone or with people?
I do like working with people, but again, like I have to have a feeling that I'm in lead, that I can basically change my mind, like not change my mind in the sense that, I'm now gonna like from one day to another be gone, but just like that I can, if I got an impulse, right, for a new project, that I can just freely pursue it without having like a bad conscience or feeling that I'm leaving someone behind or whatever, I just want to feel like I have the option to just do what right now I feel like and I also believe that we are receiving certain information from the universe because the universe wants to express itself through us. And I think these visions just come from, I don't know where they come from, but I feel very strongly about them. I just want to do them, and I don't want to feel limited by someone else putting certain expectation on me and not being able to do that, right? So I do enjoy working with people. Like, for instance, as I mentioned that, I definitely want, for instance, on the platform to be like different courses for different people. And I kind of want to co-create it together with them, not necessarily from the know-how perspective, but supporting with the structures and with, like providing maybe a studio where we can record all of those videos and all of the things like this. But I just still want to have feeling like this is my company and I make the final decision, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense.
Yeah, and everyone is different, I think, for some people that's really, they want to really work closely together and they want to make decisions together. And I'm just like, I want to decide, I want to go with that. I just, that's how I work. And I know you always need people to work with, and I really enjoy working with people. And I really think that also makes the work more interesting. If you work with other people, it's always just, you have to choose the right form of collaboration that works for you, right? So I think that's the important thing.
Yeah, you are such a natural leader. I like it.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's so nice.
Thank you.
Wow, that's just fascinating talking to you. I could be talking to you for hours and hours, but I think we should end up this interview and continue.
I have to still go shopping for Christmas presents. So
yeah.
yes.
I'm not sure I will be able to edit this interview before Christmas, but yeah, it will be.
Awesome. Awesome.
After. Thank you very much for all information you shared with us. Thank you for sharing your
Thank you.
personal journey, your business advices. It was fascinating.
Thank you.
And I'm super excited to learn more from you in the future.
Thank you so much. It was really nice to talk to you, and all the best. And yes, if you edit it before Christmas, then Merry Christmas. If not, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Whenever it comes out, it comes out. So
yeah, and a lot of success in 2022.
Yeah, to you too, and to all of to everyone who's watching.
Thank you.